That actually reminds me, in Nashville, I actually encountered Arie Luyendyk Jr., although I didn't get a picture with him. But what happened was I was going on the bridge to enter the track. Okay. And some guy came flying by me on an electric scooter, and I had a quick glimpse at him like this, and I didn't think anything of it. But 10 seconds later, I was like, wait a second, that's Arie Luyendyk Jr. And by the time he was gone, so I couldn't, ask for a photo or anything, but I recognized him.
Yeah, if you had stopped him, and he's such a good guy. He loves his fans. He would have taken a photo with you. He would have talked to you for a while. He loves talking about racing. His dad, obviously, as you know, is a 2-time Indy 500 winner and champion, and has the fastest lap ever at the Indianapolis 500. So they call him the Flying Dutchman. And so great family. His dad's amazing. His mom, he comes from a great family. He probably would talk to you for hours.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, how would you overall rate the weekend of Nashville?
Listen, from the IndyCar races to all the sport categories, stadium super trucks, I thought the promoters and the city of Nashville really came together and had such a wonderful event. I can't wait to go back there. The racing was amazing. The track was phenomenal. Like driving over that bridge and seeing the city, for drivers, we were all talking, it was, even for us to be a fan of racing, we had to actually kind of refocus ourselves because it was so cool. The driving over that bridge and then seeing the whole landscape of the city, you're like, all right, this is pretty cool. Like, oh, wait a minute, we're racing, it's almost like you're driving, but you became a spectator in your own truck. But so you had to kind of refocus yourself. So such a great event. And we can't wait to go back there next year. And we will definitely be back there next year. So if you can go back, you got to say hi to us and take some photos and, maybe, bring the crew and, do some interviews on site with us,
That would be great. Yeah. Justin, you had a question before I jumped in?
Yeah. So earlier you spoke about NASCAR. I have to know how big of a NASCAR fan are you, and how big do you follow this other racing sports?
Oh, I follow all racing. NASCAR, IndyCar is, besides Stadium Super Trucks, is my favorite. IndyCar is my second, and NASCAR is my third favorite. And I like F1, but F1 to me is like, the same 2 or 3 people win, and it's not competitive. Whereas like NASCAR, I follow the Xfinity Series, I follow the Truck Series. Obviously, I got a lot of friends in all of those sports, so I really do. I love NASCAR. I don't have one favorite driver. My favorite driver was Dale Earnhardt Sr., and I respected his son, Dale Earnhardt Jr. I like Kurt and Kyle Busch. I like them. I like Denny Hamlin, Keselowski. I like them all. I think they're all good guys. I like, I like when there's that the emotion and thing like that. So. I really think I had a big move. I mean, Kurt Busch going to Michael Jordan's team. I think that's a big move for them. I think that's gonna, it's a second year. It'll be a second-year team next year. I think, him and Bubba Wallace are gonna, they'll work well together, and you'll start to see that team develop more and more. Obviously, big fan of Hendrick's as well. The Hendrick Motorsport team. I think I've actually got the pleasure of touring the Hendrick Motorsport shops a couple of years ago, meeting Rick Hendrick and everything. And man, it's such a good operation. Like, he still has, if you saw Days of Thunder, he actually has the original Cole Trickle car from the movie Days of Thunder in there, in his museum. And it was like the coolest thing ever. I wanted to hop into it. He's like, no, you can't touch that car. I'm like, oh, come on, let me in. And, he has all the the Jimmy Johnson cars, and then the Jeff Gordon cars. So yeah, it's such a, hey, Kyle Larson's a phenomenal talent. Like, you can go on and on. Like, every single driver is so good in NASCAR, and you can learn a lot from them for sure.
Yeah,
definitely. I read that the Cole Trickle car during the filming of Days of Thunder was actually, it was Greg Sachs that was behind the wheel, because yeah, I read it was Greg Sachs because he looked similar to Tom Cruise a little bit back then.
Well, Justin, who's your favorite driver?
Oh, my favorite driver, Danica Patrick.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Danica Patrick, she used to race for Andretti Autosport when she was in IndyCar. So I've met her many times. She's such a great person. She's a great ambassador for the sport. And, you must have been really happy when she put it on pole at the Daytona 500 that year.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
You can't tell by a hat.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about you for your favorite driver?
If I had to pick my favorite driver in NASCAR, it's this guy, Kyle Busch.
Oh, Kyle Busch is amazing. Yeah. Couldn't see your hat, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Kyle Busch, I will admit that sometimes he has done some things that I don't defend, like, taking out Ron Hornaday and all that. But at the same time, I've stood by him.
When he drove through pit lane really fast because he was pissed off?
Yeah, that's you. That's you. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm saying that was really bad that he did that. He shouldn't have done that because he could have ran over some people. But here's the thing, like, all in all, like, he's so talented, and I like having that emotion in racing. So that's why it's like Robbie Gordon after, like, he knew, and even the promoter of the Mid-Ohio track, they came up to me and like thanked me for that incident with Bo. They were like, "This is great because we need more of this in racing. We need entertainment, and that's entertaining. So you need the people like the Kyle Busches of the world, and the Denny Hamlins of the world that are gonna be, out there and starting stuff. Like, did you see Kyle Busch walking by Bubba Wallace the other day? It's like, oh, did you get the team orders? And you need that type of stuff,
Yeah, and you also need, every now and then, controversy in racing is inevitable. It's just part of the sport, and it makes for good ratings. And yeah, I will actually say, for the record, in Nashville, they played a replay on the trackside television of your incident with Bo, and the crowd, as it was happening, apparently some of them hadn't seen it yet, and so they were all like, ooh, or fight, fight, fight when it happened. And when I was watching it, I was like...
Actually, yeah, so the crowd where I was in my truck, and the crowd went nuts, and I could see him, and, because I could see the screen, because there's big screens all over, and the crowd was, where I was, the whole crowd was cheering. So it's like, yeah, hey, like I said, people like to see a train wreck. People like to see crashes. People like to see emotion. And at the end of the day, it's a sporting event. Like, if you go to a basketball game or a baseball game or a hockey match or game, when they fight, the crowd goes nuts. So you need that emotion. And let's face it, like, when we're driving and we're hitting the jumps, our adrenaline goes really high. So, we're really, really amped up. So if somebody, messes with you or pisses you off, you're going to react like a Kyle Busch driving through the pit lane, because you're not totally thinking straight. Like, if you're a baseball player and you get hit with a fastball in the arm, you might charge them out. But that's part of being, being in the fight and being in that sport. So.
And then Kenzit, going after Keselowski between the haulers.
Oh yeah, yeah. Some of them tackle each other and knock each other out and stuff like that. But if you weren't, Justin, if you didn't, well, Danica Patrick's retired now. So who's your favorite active driver?
Chase Elliott.
Oh, he's amazing. Yeah, such a good talent. Yeah, I think him and Kyle Larson are kind of two of the big stars of the sport right now.